contoured abdominoplasty and really get that hourglass figure back. The key to that, how we corset the muscles back together again. Allow the muscles to separate and suck it in, and they see this beautiful hourglass.
Right.
That's the result that you can look forward to.
Oh, I want a beauty that will give me that glow. The kind of body that'll make them say, whoa. Get it right with the knife who slays. Beauty and the blade. Yeah, get it right with the knife who slays. Beauty and the blade. Get it right with the knife who slays. Face and body. And the blade.
Welcome back to Beauty and the Blade. I'm Dr. Edward Park, your co-host, with my lovely wife, Ashley Park. Today we're going to do a special tribute to listener emails. You guys have sent us a bunch of questions, and we're just going to bullet point them all through and cover a smattering of all different topics. Before we do that,
Let's do a natty or not.
ooh, natty.
One of the actresses that comes up is Julia Roberts. What do you think? She's all natural or had some plastic surgery,
The way
fillers?
she acts, great actress. Pretty
Love her.
Woman, your favorite.
My all-time favorite movie, Pretty Woman.
Yeah, Richard Gere was pretty good in that too.
Yeah.
I liked him. But do we think she's natural or has she had some? I would guess that she does a little fillers and Botox, but for the most part, what would you say?
I feel that she looks very natural.
I agree.
mean, I think it's normal for somebody in that industry to have some
Upkeep.
filler, some neurotoxins to
Right.
kind of stop that aging process and bring back the youth.
Yeah.
She definitely does not look overdone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it keeps you guessing.
Yeah. So for the most part, I would say that Julia Roberts is probably natural. The other thing I look at when I'm really kind of analyzing someone, I look at their cheekbones. I
Right.
also look at their what's called their submalar, which is kind of their actual cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Those tend to be a little puff-eyed or puffy-eyed.
Right.
I feel like Julia Roberts has maintained really good cheekbone structure.
Right.
She hasn't overdone anything. Definitely no fillers in the lips. I know a lot of actresses and
Right.
actors do that. So I'm going to go with natty.
Yeah, I think so too.
she's natural.
If she is doing anything, she looks super natural.
Right.
So keep it up, Julia
Yeah.
Roberts.
Good job.
So you ready for some emails?
Let's go to the first one.
All right. Hey, Dr. Park and Ashley. I follow your page on IG. I've been reading something on the app Real Self saying people look like SpongeBob after a tummy tuck. Are they referring to a boxy look? How can that be avoided? Thanks, from Jessica from Aroga.
That's actually a pretty common question that I get for tummy tucks. I do, and that's especially why I named my procedure patented as a contoured abdominoplasty, because what I'm trying to do, as you know, is contour and really get that hourglass figure back. So I want a nice silhouette. People will come in with kind of straighter, boxier figures, if you will.
Right.
And I think the key to that, and people don't really look at this, but when you come in for a consultation, I go over the muscles and how we corset the muscles back together again. So the analogy I use is like that internal corset, like in the 1920s, picture the women kind of really tightening up the
Right.
clothing to cinch that hourglass. I'm essentially doing that to the muscles that have been separated. So I'm quite aggressive at that because I think that's what will get the curves back into the box, if you will. But I would say there's some that are genetically a little bit more straighter. But for the most part, I am trying to really get that hourglass boxy to an hourglass.
So can you, when they come in for their consultation, you can determine like, okay, I would be able to give you that contoured look where you have hourglass.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, this just isn't going to work for you.
Yeah.
Just,
The majority, I'd say 90% or more, can get really nice contouring. One of the things you'll see me do when you come in for a consultation, and women are really good at this, is I'll have them just suck it in. First, I'll have them relax and let the kind of, men are good at it. We all just have beer guts and we don't care.
it's the dad bod.
The dad bods are in, I hear these days. But women seem to subconsciously know after a pregnancy that their six-pack have been separated. And because of that subconscious feeling, they tend to tighten up And it's really hard for some women to really relax.
relax,
Francis
yeah.
and I will be in a consultation and we'll be like, relax, relax. And they're like really tight still.
Right.
But when you're in a fully relaxed position, you're going to allow the muscles to separate. Then I have them suck it in. And if I see them suck it in and they see this beautiful hourglass,
Right.
that's the result that you can look forward to in terms of your contoured abdominoplasty.
And when you ask patients to bring in wish pics, I know it could be about boobs or whichever. Do they bring them in for abdominoplasties as well?
For abdominoplasties, generally I don't need to
Okay.
because I'm going to be super aggressive in getting that hourglass. And we can picture basically all the skin from the belly button down to the pelvic region is all eliminated. So it's a really big transformation.
Yeah.
I think, we've had friends that have gone through it and, I know Frances has gone through it. She's got a really lovely before and after picture. The other comment I would make is what's not talked about is the core strength. And as you and I know that when the muscles are separated, you have very, very weak core strength.
Right.
I don't know if you felt that before, but when the muscles are placed back to the center, anatomically positioned, I'm doing a study of planking where certain patients before, let's say they can plank a minute, after surgery, double or longer.
very
And that is
interesting.
so important. People think, oh, tummy tuck, that's vain. It is actually improving your core strength by a
Right.
tremendous amount. Super important.
I know you perform full abdominoplasties and then you have actually a mini abdominoplasty. So when you do the mini, are they going to have that core strength?
That's a good question. So when we talk about a mini tummy tuck, we're generally only removing and lifting the skin up to the belly button. So it's kind of like a half reconstruction, if you will. And so I am not going up to the upper abdomen to really reconstruct the muscles. So for the most part, unless a patient is perfect in the upper abs, then they'll be a candidate for a mini.
Okay.
But I think that's pretty rare.
Okay.
I think you and I know some people that mini tucks, and then I've been able to convert them to
Right.
fulls
Right.
because they felt some separation in that upper abdomen. So
Nice.
that's a good question.
You ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one.
Hey, Ashley and Dr. Park. I'm Candace from Corona. I think this is a question more for Ashley. Is there anything to do to get rid of cellulite that really works? I need it for my thighs and butt. Thanks, Ashley. Well, I don't think there's really
Tough one.
anything to do for cellulite yet. I think there are a lot of companies that are out there, businesses, companies, med spas that are pushing different procedures like, oh, if you get liposuction, this is going to work. It doesn't take care of that problem. Oh, you can have Selfina. It's going to work. There's men and women that suffer from cellulite, but more women want to take care of it. And I don't think that there's really anything out there that gets rid of it.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit before, but there's actually a machine called Selfina, and it works from an external kind of rubbing the area, and it doesn't do anything invasive. But I've heard mixed reviews on it. So just do your research. It's very, very important to know that cellulite, there's not a 100% improvement. I actually tell my patients that cellulite can get worse. So we've got to be really, really careful and make sure you're a good candidate for liposuction and to not make risks even worse. So
Okay, let's go into our next one. Hello, Beauty and the Blade. This is Linda from Garden Grove. A friend of mine is talking about getting Kybella for her double chin. Does it work? Are there any other products or procedures that work better for double chins? I am interested. Thanks.
tough one.
Well, Linda, Kybella, it really depends on if you want to come in and see us. I think that would be great. So we can set up, have a consultation and to see what your chin looks like, right? And there's also Kybella, cool sculpting, and then liposuction, or a lower facelift, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I would say the easiest way would be cool sculpting. It's very sensitive area. It's going to freeze the fat and help diminish any fat cells.
Non-invasive.
Right. And you can have it on your lunch break and go back to work.
Right.
Same as Kybella. The only thing is that it kind of stings a little bit for about, I say, 10 to 15 minutes. So we have our patients sit in our room. It's an injectable that's basically bombing those fat cells.
Destroying it.
It's destroying them. And does it permanently? Does it get rid of everything? Not necessarily. What we've seen is it does help. We would have to see you and to really do a full consultation to determine what you would really need.
Yeah, and for a full consultation, feel free to call us at 1-888-900-9065, 1-888-900-9065. And what Ashley said was really, really important. There are 4 different options and possibly more. Kybella, I think it's good because you can really target where you're injecting.
Right.
I think Cool Sculpting is limited. It's got a applicator that's got to fit perfectly. These things all kind of destroy fat cells permanently. There are some that can remain. The final option in terms of just fat is liposuction to the neck. If we do an evaluation, either Ashley or myself, and we say, wow, there's a lot more fat here than can be treated with Kybella, then I've been doing quite a bit of liposuction in the neck and have gotten nice results. So now we're talking about minor surgery. And the other thing that's really, really important is when I'm looking at fat, I'm also looking at skin. So if a person has any hanging skin in the neck area, let's say there's just some dropping, we have to do a lift. And Kybella lipo is just not going to be enough. So in that evaluation, I kind of have to manipulate and see how the skin is responding. If it's dropping, then we're going to be talking about even a lower face neck lift. So a little bit more surgery and something that has
What would be the recovery process of having liposuction or a lower facelift?
Yeah, so the first 2 we talked about are non-invasive, Kybella, Cool Sculpting, right back to work, no recovery. Lipo neck is a pretty easy recovery. You are going to have some swelling, and it's easy to go back to desk work or something where working from home. However, we do have you wear a compression garment under the neck for 1 to 2 weeks. So that's where you may want to hide out a little bit so that you can really allow that swelling to go down. Interestingly, for a lower face neck, I would say about the same, 1 week. And because I'm lifting the skin, it's a very quick healing process. 1 week and you're doing fine. So
if they just chose to do, it depends probably on the patient, but if you're going to do a lower face, would you also do liposuction at the same time?
That's a good question. Yeah. So anytime I'm doing a lower face neck, basically, and any other area of the body, they say, hey, can you lipo this? It's kind of a simple pinch and inch test. I'm literally pinching it and seeing how much fat there is. So if I'm pinching the neck and we say, hey, there's some fat there that we can lipo and the skin is down, then I will do both. Now, if the patient has just skin, they don't need lipo, then I'll just do the lift. Another area that a lot of people ask about is women about that side breast area.
It's so funny because you keep pointing at me. These people are going to think that I've had everything under the sun. I'm like, don't worry, guys. I'm the walking Barbie over here.
You are. You're perfect.
Well, thank you. He has to say that, just like your parents have to tell you that you're great.
That's coming up. But wouldn't you say that almost every consult in the breast?
I mean, it really depends on the weights of the patient. If you've gone through weight gain, weight loss, there's different.
Yeah. And I always blame it on the bra. And I've always kind of joked, I'm going to invent the Park bra, because I will tell you most of the times that women come in, they put the bra on, it's always too tight. And there's a bulge of skin above it and a bulge below it. So during the exam, when the bra strap comes off, it's smooth. It's usually just extra skin. Again, unless I can pinch and feel a significant amount of fat. But other than that, there's usually not a lot to do. Just get a looser bra. I don't know.
It's so funny that you bring that up, because actually my aunt, I know a lot of people are like, what? What's this job? But she was a professional bra fitting rep, right?
Yeah, that's important.
So I would always tighten my straps really tight, and then the back of my bra is all the way up my back. And she's like, no. That's what
tight.
causes this bulge. This is what So it's, I think it's great to actually go to somebody at one of the department stores and get sized and wear your bra properly.
Yeah. After any breast surgery, we often tell our patients to go get fitted because there's nothing better than a tailor-made,
Right.
bra or, I get suits tailored. It's really important to do that so that it fits properly and
Right.
it's just not pinching your back there.
Yeah. You ready for the next one?
All righty.
Carol from Monrovia emailed, I have a question for Ashley. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
I know you stopped working in the office and work more at home, which I think is a harder job. 100%. Do you ever miss it? I'm struggling to decide whether to go back to work or not. Thanks, girl.
Oh.
Well.
Are you coming back to work?
No, I actually am going to be starting back, but I'm only going to be there for a couple days.
exciting.
I would talk to patients or friends that they actually went through retirement and this and that, and they say, and we had a friend that retired and went back to dentistry.
Yep.
Because you think you're going to do all these things. Like, my goal was like, okay, I always say that I went into retirement on July 30th or something like that. I forget. It was at the end of July. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break from work. I'm going to spend more time with the kids because I felt like I was working way too much. I became addicted to work and I was working like 14 to 16 hours a day.
And you were really good at it.
Yes,
am.
thank you. But what's most important is your children. The time goes by so fast. I feel like you blink your eyes and it's like all of a sudden they're 18 years old. And yes, it's really hard, but when you retire, when you leave your work, you have all these things. Like, I'm like, I'm going to go to the day spa. I'm going to work out 5 times a week.
That happened.
I'm going to, what happens when you work for so many years, and I've been working since 13, 15 years old, when you leave that, I felt personally like I lost my identity. I didn't do any of the things that I had on my mind. I didn't know what to do with my life, which was weird. Like, I was still really busy with the kids. So have a hobby before you decide to leave work. Have goals that you're going to already accomplish before you actually make that huge change.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's a couple things I've noticed about you doing that. It was a very difficult decision for you in terms of that. Here you are, you built our med spa, a tremendous you had a huge following of patients, doing the injectables, the Botox and the fillers. I can, say that every single patient misses you. You are just so good at it. I just think you have a gifted natural talent in seeing the aesthetics and not only treating them physically, but really emotionally. I think they connected with you.
Right.
When you decided to take care of our children, which I just admire you for making that decision.
When you decided to take care
Because I don't.
they had to fend for themselves.
They were out in on an island and you had to go grab them. But no, really, I think it was probably the biggest sacrifice I've seen someone do. Because if I were to quit my job, like you said, I would just, I know you went through some challenges about your identity, but at the same time, I can't thank you enough. I think it was the best decision for you to just love on our children even more 24/7. It just made me appreciate motherhood and moms even more, so that a lot of our patients are moms and I just look up to them because I'm like, how did you sacrifice your time, your job, your everything for your children? And here you are usually putting yourself as a mother kind of lower or last even in terms of. So it's super admirable. You're like my inspiration. I can do it. And I hope to retire like you someday.
Don't make me emotional again.
I want to see your
No,
cry.
but when I was younger, I was like, you know what? Kids aren't for me. I'm not going to have kids. I'm not. And then, once I had my child, you actually know what love is. And it's
that's deep. Yeah.
Then I had 3 more and now we have a family of 6. And it is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
But you're the best too.
Oh, well, because I'm like a fifth child, right?
But what's
So,
funny
yeah.
is you talk about you wish you could retire one day and do it. I think there was like a 4-day weekend or something, and you had that time off.
Yeah.
And you're like, honey, I'll take them. You go do your own thing. I'll take them to
I
school.
lasted like 3 hours.
Yeah, you're like, I cannot do this. This is too much. I'm always in the car.
Yeah, I don't know. I think moms have this inherent talent. You know, they're little ducklings. They always follow you. And we're actually going to meet them on our next episode. But I'm like, yeah, I can help you. No, where's mommy? Where's mommy? Where's mommy? You know, there's just this connection and this bond, which I feel like you nurture to the nth degree. I'm in such gratitude for that. Now I'm going to start crying because you're just such an awesome mom. On top of that, just your ability to sacrifice that is just tremendous. And I'm really hopeful and anxious that you come back because all the staff are wanting, then where's Ashley? Where's Ashley? The patients. So
It's amazing. It's like, I mean, just the other day you called me, you FaceTimed me.
this is a funny story.
I was actually going to the bathroom and my husband, this is totally TMI, but my husband calls me FaceTiming and I just kind of canceled the call. And he calls me again, I cancel the call. And he's calling me again. So I pick it up, I answer, it's on FaceTime, and I pointed up to the ceiling. No, not at that point. I was holding it to my face.
To the side, yeah.
And you're like, honey, what are you doing? I said, I'm actually in the bathroom. Is everything okay? Can I call you back? Wait, hold on. I have somebody that wants to speak to you. And he puts a patient on the phone as I'm on the toilet. So I'm like pointing, and she's like, Dr. Park, is she okay? Like, but I couldn't talk, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go, bye. But it's nice, and she's like, I can't wait for you to come back. And she's actually somebody that goes to our local church. She is. The best thing in the world is to feel wanted. That's like incredible.
This patient of ours was just ranting and raving about how special you are. Frances is in the background, and she hears it all the time. There's always patients. When is Ashley come back? I'm not going to do any of my injections until she comes back. She was just really saying how special you are, and you know, she really, really missed you. And that's why I FaceTimed you on the toilet. I didn't know that, but yeah.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Janet from Westchester emailed in, Hi, Dr. Park. I want a breast augmentation, but my friend just had one, and one of her breasts is higher than the other. It's really noticeable. It makes me scared to even think about getting one now. Is this something that happens often? Thanks, doctor.
All right, this will be our last question, but I'm going to just answer this rather quickly. When you are healing, we first say the biggest adage is, you know, they're sisters, not twins.
That's
They're
right.
always a little bit different. They're healing a little bit
And you have
differently.
to always, I mean, even when you have any other procedures,
Right.
imagine a line going down and they're
not
not going to
perfect.
heal the same.
Right.
They're not going to, they're going to take their
Yeah.
own time.
So God made us all imperfectly perfect, right? So there's you know, imperfections, and we accept them. So anyways, it does depend on where you are in your healing. Definitely just refer to your plastic surgeon, because one could have a capsule. There are
Right.
different things, but usually at 3 to 6 months, have no fear, they should settle out. Well, let's wrap it up. Time has gone by quick. Feel free to give us a call at 1-888-900-9065. Again, 1-888-900-9065, or our website.
FaceTheLetterNBody.com.
And our IG, follow us at Face and Body Plastic Surgery. Catch us next time on Go Country 105, Sunday at 7:30, Beauty and the Blade.
Face and body.